Welcome to my channel Karma Romance Stories. Please like, subscribe for more videos.
Have you ever watched someone destroy another person's career in public just to prove they had power? That is exactly what happened to me on a Friday night inside the busy steakhouse in the city. My boss stood up in front of clients, coworkers, and strangers. He smiled as he called me legacy thinking and announced that my position was gone. People stared, some looked away, others quietly laughed. I thought my career had ended. Then a woman from the next table slowly walked toward me. She placed a business card in my hand and whispered one sentence that changed everything. Legacy thinking does not build systems 5 years ahead of the industry. Vision does. At that moment, nobody in the restaurant knew they were watching the biggest mistake my former boss would ever make. My name is Alexander. For more than 20 years, I worked in enterprise technology. I believed in careful planning, strong security, and building systems that would still work years into the future. I never chased trends. I focused on results. My company grew because clients trusted us to solve difficult problems. Everything changed when a new CEO arrived. She was young, confident, and obsessed with buzzwords. Every meeting became a performance. She wanted speed over stability. She wanted headlines instead of long-term success. Anyone who questioned her ideas was labeled resistant to change. I thought experience would eventually matter. I believed results would speak louder than presentations. I was wrong. One morning she announced a complete digital transformation. Every department would replace proven systems with experimental platforms. My team raised concerns about security, compliance, and customer data. Instead of answering the questions, she smiled and said that fear always comes from people trapped in legacy thinking. The room became silent. After the meeting, several coworkers thanked me for speaking honestly. None of them were willing to say those same words publicly. They were afraid of losing promotions, bonuses, and their jobs. Over the next few months, deadlines slipped, costs increased. Those reports quietly disappeared before reaching the board. Then one Friday afternoon, the CEO invited several executives, clients, and department leaders to celebrate at an expensive steakhouse. She called it a leadership dinner. Everyone wore business suits. Conversations filled the room. Waiters carried expensive meals to every table. Halfway through dinner, the CEO stood up with a glass in her hand. She thanked everyone for supporting the company vision. Then she looked directly at me. She smiled. Daniel represents everything holding this company back. Legacy thinking has no place in our future. Effective immediately, your employment is terminated. The restaurant became completely silent. I could feel every pair of eyes looking at me. I slowly stood up. I thanked everyone for the opportunity to work together. I wished the company success. Then I quietly walked toward the exit. As I passed another table, a woman politely asked if I had a moment. She introduced herself as a venture capital investor who specialized in enterprise software companies. She said she had heard every word. She handed me her business card. Then she smiled. Legacy thinking does not build systems 5 years ahead of the industry. People who understand long-term infrastructure are becoming rare. Call me Monday morning. I thanked her and left. That weekend I wondered whether it had simply been a polite conversation. Monday morning, I called. She answered immediately. Within 48 hours, I was sitting inside her investment firm's office explaining how I believed enterprise technology should evolve without sacrificing security, reliability, and trust. She listened carefully. Instead of interrupting, she asked questions that showed she truly understood the industry. At the end of the meeting, she said something I will never forget. The market has enough people chasing trends. We invest in people who build companies that survive after trends disappear. 3 weeks later, I accepted an executive role at one of her portfolio companies. The salary was higher. The team respected experience. The mission matched everything I believed. Meanwhile, my former employer continued replacing experienced staff with consultants who promised instant transformation. Problems multiplied. Major clients delayed contracts. Unexpected outages damaged customer confidence. Several long-term partners quietly moved to competitors. Industry publications began asking difficult questions. The board demanded answers. Former coworkers started calling me. Many admitted they had wanted to speak up but were afraid. Some eventually joined our growing company. Together we built products focused on reliability, transparency, and customer trust. Our reputation spread quickly. Within 2 years, revenue doubled. New investors joined. International clients signed long-term agreements. One afternoon, I attended a technology conference as a keynote speaker. Hundreds of executives filled the audience. After my presentation, someone approached me. It was my former CEO. She looked different. The confidence was gone. She congratulated me. Then she quietly admitted that firing experienced employees without listening had been her biggest leadership mistake. She asked if we were hiring. I smiled politely. I thanked her for the conversation. I wished her success. Then I walked toward the next meeting. Months later, our company announced another major funding round. The same venture capital investor who had handed me her business card during that unforgettable night spoke at the event. She told the audience that the greatest investments are not always new ideas. Sometimes the greatest investment is believing in experienced people when everyone else overlooks them. The audience stood and applauded. As I looked across the room, I realized something important. Public humiliation lasts only a moment. Character lasts a lifetime. People may underestimate experience. They may laugh at patience. They may call wisdom old-fashioned. But industries always return to leaders who build with integrity instead of ego. That night in the steakhouse, I believed my career had ended. In reality, it had just begun. Success is not always about moving faster. It is about moving wisely. Never allow someone else's opinion to define your future. The people who mock your experience today may one day admire the success built because of it. Stay professional. Keep learning. Protect your integrity. The right opportunity often appears immediately after the biggest disappointment. Sometimes the door that closes in public opens the one that changes your entire life.